What up, fams?
Welcome to the Wrestle Fam Talk Show.
And my name is Bryce.
And I'm Ron. We're back.
We are back and ready to rumble.
All right. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over AEW. A lot has changed in about the year that we've been off the air.
Dragon Lee has left.
Yeah, he went to WWE.
Yeah.
Jay Briscoe has passed away in January.
Yeah.
CM Punk's back after he left. So what we're going to do is we'll cover Collision. That happened on Saturday. It's the new show from AEW. They just debuted. And as we go along, because they've had all the wrestlers on there between Collision, between Dynamite, when we get to that wrestler, we'll probably backtrack, talk about what the heck has happened, and then looking forward to the pay-per-view this Sunday, Forbidden Door. Major, big matchups that I'm excited to see. So we'll kick it off with Collision. And Collision started off this past Saturday night with CM Punk. He's back. Last year at the All Out pay-per-view, he won the title from Jon Moxley, but he got hurt during the match. And then at the medium scrum, he talked all this crap about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, like real life stuff.
Yeah.
And then in the backstage area, they got in a fight. So they've been going through all this court and legal stuff, but CM Punk's back. They probably made up. Who knows? He comes out. He kind of takes shots at the Young Bucks, but they're in Chicago. It's almost like when he debuted that past year when he debuted. They were all excited about it, but he comes out and does that. Are you excited about CM Punk being back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it picks up when he comes back, right? So we kick off the show after CM Punk. There's a title match right off the bat. And you were excited when I told you. I said Wardlow versus Luchasaurus.
I was rooting for Luchasaurus there.
Yeah, TNT title. And Luchasaurus ends up winning this thing from Wardlow with the help of Christian.
Yeah, since Christian interfered with the camera.
Yeah, hit him right in the head.
Yeah.
Then we go to the backstage, and there's Powerhouse Hobbs. He's talking. And then they let you know that there's an Owen Hart Memorial Tournament, whatever they want to call it, coming up. And tonight they actually set out the brackets, and it looks pretty cool. A lot of big names in this tournament. I'll just read off the bracket for you. You have CM Punk versus Kojima, and that's going to be happening at the pay-per-view this Sunday. So CM Punk's on the card, and we'll cover it more detail later here. Roderick Strong, that's a new thing that happened, right? He debuted during the time that we've been off to help his old buddy Adam Cole against Chris Jericho. And you know who else helped Adam Cole against Chris Jericho?
Who?
Sabu. Remember Sabu came out of nowhere, the ECW legend. He came there for a week. So it's been crazy this whole year of just people debuting and popping in and out. So Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe in this tournament. And that match is going to happen on the June 29th AEW Collision.
I'm kind of thinking Samoa Joe might choke Roderick Strong with the...
That's what I'm thinking too, because he's in the same bracket as CM Punk. So if they both win, remember I was talking to you about tournaments? Yeah. People looking forward to that next round. That'd be something if we get Punk and Samoa Joe. Yeah. Then I'm going to be honest, the least match I'm looking forward to, Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Why?
I don't know.
Just put Wardlow in there.
Yeah, let's get Wardlow in there. They've been feuding. Yeah. I don't know what Dustin Rhodes is doing. I don't think he's going to be Powerhouse Hobbs.
Not Powerhouse Hobbs. It's going to be Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, so you got Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes, and then the other match, Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks. They've been feuding for a while now. So
that would be fitting for the tournament.
Yeah, so I'm thinking right off the bat, just looking at this bracket, I'm thinking it's going to be Juice Robinson versus CM Punk in the finals. That's my guess. What's your guess?
I'm thinking Powerhouse Hobbs and CM Punk.
Powerhouse Hobbs, CM Punk, a rematch. Those are both. That's a good guess there. But a lot of these matches are going to happen on Collision on June 29th, and the CM Punk match is happening on the pay-per-view. So they announced that tonight on Dynamite, which is great. And then they have a women's tournament. We'll get to that later. Then the match of the night came up. Andre El Idolo versus Buddy Matthews. We watched that match, and it was pretty
good.
They both were like hurt, acting like they were both hurt. They had medical people come in and check on them.
They're both very good wrestlers too.
Yes,
they were both like very equal, 50-50. Idolo would win or Buddy Matthews.
We didn't know who was going to win, but it ended up being Andrade. And then the lights go out. And then it's Malachi Black, it's Brody King, it's the rest of the House of Black, who are the trios champions right now. And they laid Andrade out. I thought it was interesting. That's a feud I was looking forward to. I thought they should go right to it. It was Andrade and Malachi, and they did. Andrade and Malachi. And they used to kind of be in cahoots together when they were feuding with Cody Rhodes a few years ago. Now that's out the window.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes is on WWE now.
That's another big thing that happened. Cody Rhodes left to WWE. Then they do a little package, a little preview of Scorpio Sky. We haven't seen him in forever.
Oh. I haven't seen him like in a year.
Yeah, really. I don't know where he's been.
Where is he on?
Yeah, but he's coming back, so that's somebody to look forward to. Then we had Tony Nese. He was in the ring, and he's talking all this crap, and then Miro comes out and just destroys him. So it looks weird. It looks like Andrade and Miro are now good guys, it seems.
Yeah. Because
they both beat bad guys. And he runs right through Tony Nese.
Tony Nese was scared.
Yeah.
Very scared.
Of Miro, yeah. You'd definitely be scared of him. And then we had a tag team match. Willow Nightingale, who's the NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion, which is Willow Nightingale, and she teamed up with Sky Blue. Now, Willow Nightingale was not supposed to win that title when she wrestled Mercedes Moné, who was formerly known as Sasha Banks in Japan, but Sasha Banks broke her ankle during the match. And so Willow Nightingale has won the title.
Yeah.
And they went against... Yeah, sometimes things like that happen, and you just got to call it right there.
No, after she heals, they'll do a rematch, and then Sasha Banks will win the title back.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. That's a good call there.
That's what they always do.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like I never lost the title. I got hurt, so now I'm back to get it. But they fought Ruby Soho, who has turned bad. She's joined up with Toni Storm. Mm-hmm. They're known as the Outcast. And they also got Saraya. She's in the group as well. And Toni Storm's the women's champion. Yeah. And Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue end up picking up the win, which was a surprise. And everybody went crazy for that. That was a good thing because Sky Blue hadn't really won any matches. So this was like her first big win with it. And then Ricky Starks says he's in the tournament for Owen Hart, which we covered. He is in the tournament. And it's Juice Robinson. Jeff Jarrett on Collision here previewed the match that happened tonight, a concession stand brawl.
Briscoe versus
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett.
Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett went at it. And then the Acclaimed were on there, and they were talking, and everybody loves the Acclaim. And then the main event was CM Punk and FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson, who are known as Bullet Club Gold, and the Ring of Honor TV champion, Samoa Joe. So it had been the first time they mentioned that Samoa Joe and CM Punk were in the ring since like 2004 or 5. Mm-hmm. So it's been many years. And, of course, the good guys win. CM Punk wins since the crowd home happy.
18 years.
It's been a long time. And that happened on Ring of Honor, which they now own. AEW owns Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. I would like to see a TV show of Ring of Honor. I see these champions come on there. They sometimes have pay-per-views of Ring of Honor. They had a real good one. And that one had Jay Briscoe on it prior to his death, obviously. And that was a good one that we had saw. Great match versus FTR. And it's sad that he's gone. Now Mark Briscoe carries on the legacy, including his dad. Papa Briscoe showed up tonight. He also showed up on Rampage last week. They did a fun 6-man tag or 6-person tag match. It was Papa Briscoe. It was Mark Briscoe. And then the referee, the female referee. So she's in the match, and then they wrestled Jeff Jarrett, his wife Karen, and they wrestled Jay Lethal, and they picked up the win. Aubrey Edwards, the female referee.
Yeah, I remember.
So she picks up the win. I think she tapped out Jeff Jarrett to a figure four or something like that. Yeah. So it was like a fun match. And then
even the referees doing fun stuff.
Yeah, so they're trying to build up Rampage, and they got some big matchups coming up on Rampage this week. So you got 3 shows of AEW each week. So you got Wednesday night, you got Friday night, and now you got Saturday night. So it's fun. So we're having 4 nights of wrestling. We got it tonight. We're having Friday, Saturday, and then the pay-per-view on Sunday, which we're going to be getting to. Let's go ahead and cover Dynamite. That happened tonight, and it starts off with the Guns versus the Hardys.
I really thought the Hardys would win.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And as the match went on,
Hardys started getting destroyed.
They started getting destroyed. They were kind of coming back,
but then it got put down again.
Yeah, because the Switchblade, Jay White, and Juice Robinson shows up because they kind of been teaming up with the Guns, which is Billy Gunn's sons, and they help the Guns win. So I think the Guns are joining the Bullet Club. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Guns and Bullets, they're probably correlating that together. And then a bunch of people came out, right? So they're just beating up the Hardys, and they're hitting them. And then Ricky Starks comes out, and he tries to help. He gets destroyed.
4 people.
4 on 1. Then FTR comes out. What happens to them? They're getting annihilated.
Then CM Punk comes out.
Yeah. And you know how I always talk about, why are they play the music? It doesn't make any sense to play the music. So they didn't play the music. They all come out. They're not waiting for their music. They're trying to help their buddies. And it sets up a big 8-man tag match. Guns, Bullet Club.
And then Lucha,
Lucha Party. That was on the next match. That was on the net, but you're right. This Dynamite had a lot of people coming out in all these different matches. But the 8-man tag, it's Juice Robinson.
I remember the Lucha Party came out with Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett.
So you got Jay White, you got Juice Robinson, you got the Guns, and they're going to fight CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks on that Saturday night show. So tune in for that. And then what you're talking about, Bryce, about the Lucha Brothers coming out was with Jeff Jarrett against Mark Briscoe, the concession stand.
Mark Briscoe won the match.
He wins the match, but before he wins the match, Jay Lethal's out there, Sanjay Dutt, and then that big tall dude, he comes out, and they're just jumping Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe's dad comes in to save him, and then he's getting beat up because Karen Jarrett comes out. And
I was surprised that he didn't show up the rest of the match.
Who, Papa Briscoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, after he got hit in between the legs, he was out. He was done for. I don't know if she really hit him or not, but I didn't see him anymore. Because
I wanted him to come fight the big guy.
Yeah. Satnam Singh comes out. That big, over 7-foot tall dude comes out, and he is.
7'4",
Is he 7'4"? Wow.
I think he's like Andre the Giant or something.
Yeah, he seemed like an Andre the Giant. So he comes out and he choke slams Mark Briscoe, and everybody thinks it's over with. But then Christopher Daniels and the Best Friends come out, and they couldn't do much against him. He was tossing them around.
Knee. He was punching all of them in the face.
Finally, the Lucha Brothers come out, and they're
they just super kick him.
Yeah, they're
like 5 people super kicking him.
They all super kicked them. They're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Again, I would love to see a show like that, but Mark Briscoe ends up winning after they did all those maneuvers to everybody cleared house. And
it would be cool to see a handicap match with the big tall dude and the Lucha Brothers. That would be cool.
Well, I don't know. Would you really? The Lucha Brothers would have to win that, though. I don't really like. It's a good thing you brought that up. I don't really like handicap matches with like well-known wrestlers unless they're going to win. I remember years ago, John Cena beat like Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes in a 2-on-1 match, and they were the tag team champions. And to me, that just says your tag team champions can't even beat one guy.
But he's a very good champion, though.
Yeah, he was very. But you just, I mean, what do you think about the tag? He might as well hand the tag team champions to John Cena since he
has like 3 titles.
Yeah, all these other tag teams couldn't beat him, but John Cena beats him by himself. So, but if they were going to do something like that, they would have to do like especially to protect the image of the Lucha Brothers, they would have to do a lot of cheating and stuff for him to win. There's a lot of people they could put him in there, but that's a good idea. He needs to start wrestling. He just comes out in a suit, but you're right. To start it off, put him into some handicap matches.
Like, where's Big Show? He should fight him.
Maybe they're saving that for a big matchup because they do have a big card coming up in England in August.
That match might happen there.
And they're supposed to be trying to get some big names in there. Rumored Drew McIntyre might be leaving WWE, but I'm not sure if his contract's up. They talked about Goldberg versus Wardlow for this thing. Ooh. But if they put Big Show versus that big dude on there, heck, I'll watch that.
I would say Goldberg versus Miro.
Ooh. Somebody a little bit more athletic,
yeah, the same
I guess.
Size.
Wardlow's pretty athletic too.
Wardlow would probably lose to Goldberg though.
Yeah, maybe it would be his going away match. But usually for your going away match, you usually lose the match. But we don't know with Goldberg.
Miro would be a good one
to win that. More name recognition with Miro. But it also could put Wardlow on the map if he wins. That would be a big
win. Or someone who's not as good, but still can probably win against Goldberg.
Yeah.
For like one of his last.
But we'll see. We were just talking about Goldberg might not even be there, you know. Yeah. But if they did it, that'd be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So then the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm telling you, that's AEW tonight. I mean, there was matches being thrown in at me right and left. I was losing my mind. All these challenges and that.
I don't even know who's coming out really.
Yeah, exactly. So the Blackpool Combat Club, who are now, Don Callis has turned on Kenny Omega, his manager. He's with John Moxley and all them. In Kosuke Takeshita used to be a good guy. He's with them. So they challenged the Elite. The Elite are back. That's another big thing that happened. Adam Page is back with his friends.
How many people are in with John Moxley?
There's like 4 or 5 of them right now.
They could do
Adam Page.
Mm-hmm. Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus John Moxley and his group.
Well, they did that. They did that at the pay-per-view. They've done it last week, and they're going to do it again. They challenged them, but because, and we'll get to the pay-per-view that's coming up, Bryan Danielson. I keep wanting to get it. Yeah, Bryan Danielson. He's in a match already, and Kenny Omega's also in a match on that pay-per-view. So there's like, hey, we're going to take on the rest of the Elite. So it's going to be John Moxley, Shota Umino, who I guess is buddies with John Moxley from Japan, Claudio Castagnoli, which used to be Cesaro. Yeah. And then they have, who else is in their group? I'm missing one. There's Takeshita, and then he's drawn a blank right now, but we'll get to it here.
What does he look like?
He was the pure champion. He used to be with the Best Friends. Wheeler Yuta. Yeah. Wheeler Yuta's on the team. So they threw out the challenge. But it's only Adam Page and the Young Bucks. They're the only ones left. And then in walks Eddie Kingston. So Eddie Kingston's on their team, and he says, I'm going to pick our partner. So then you're thinking, oh, man, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, they're best buddies, right? So they're going to get into it later tonight. But that's a big matchup there. It's a 5 versus 5 there. If that's a little confusing, we'll cover it again on the pay-per-view card. Then your favorite guy, Action Andrade, AR Fox, and Darius Martin, they fought against Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Now, the thing going on here is Sammy Guevara announced that he's having a baby at the pay-per-view, this past pay-per-view, with Tay Conti. And people started cheering him. Well, Chris Jericho's like, hey, man, you're still part of this group. He wants him to still be a bad guy, but the people want him to be good. And last week, Darby Allin came out and tried to persuade Sammy Guevara to leave Chris Jericho. And that led to a run-in with Sting. Sting and Chris Jericho face-to-face for the first time ever. So in this matchup, Jericho's team gets the win. Was a competitive match. Yeah. Action Andrade was the guy that upset Jericho earlier this year, so they're trying to push him. Darius Martin's there and AR Fox. Yeah. Dante Martin, the one that was really high-flying at that, he broke his leg on one of the pay-per-views in the past few months here. So that's why he's not teaming up with his brother. Yeah. So Jericho gets the win with the walls, and actually it looked like a lion tamer. He had it really bent back.
Yeah, he was like on his hands.
Yeah, he had him bent back on his neck. Then Jericho starts talking crap about Sting. Sting comes out with Darby Allin. Jericho and his team are going to fight Sting and Darby Allin and a mystery partner, which is going to be named Saturday night on Rampage. And I'm sorry, on Collision. Rampage is Friday. So this Saturday night, we're going to find out who's teaming up with Sting. And if the Great Muta hadn't retired, oh man, I would have loved to seen Muta team up with Sting and Darby Allin because they did in Japan. And Muta had saved Sting.
Other like WWE Hall of Famer comes out.
That'd be crazy. Yep. But even the Great Muta has showed up on AEW. So a lot has happened in this past year. If you haven't been keeping up, I recommend you looking it up on YouTube or wherever and seeing some of the clips. Yeah. We're back. We'll tell you about it. But if you actually want to see it. So then Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, they're talking about the challenge that just happened. Eddie Kingston comes out and joins them. Eddie Kingston's going to announce his partner with that team later on tonight. And then Adam Cole gets into the ring. Now, there was a weird part with Tony Schiavone and some other dude. They were pulling names out of what used to look like what they pulled the numbers out of the Royal Rumble, the little thing that has the balls in it and tumbles. I guess they're kind of doing like the Lethal Lottery tournament where random people are teamed up with each other.
Yeah, like to get them used to each other because they might be a future tag team.
Yeah, I think it might be a tournament to see who like is gonna compete for the titles.
Connection and like a short amount of time.
You're talking about connections here. Yeah. Well, the main premise of Adam Cole being in there, he wrestled MJF last week, almost beat him. He wants to fight MJF for his title. MJF's like, nah, I'm not gonna give you a rematch. It was a title eliminator. You lost at the bell. Cole had MJF beat and the time ran out. So Tony Schiavone gets on there and says, hey, you guys got pulled and you guys are a tag team in this tournament that's coming up. So we're going to wait and see what the brackets are, what the teams are. I love the Lethal Lottery that they did in WCW back in the day for Starrcade 91. That was one of my favorites. Then they did it again for Starrcade 92. And then it became its own little pay-per-view in 93. So we'll have to see about that.
They should do that every year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm liking their things. A lot of the matches I like, they're bringing them back. They're doing it. And it's intertwined. And then not only are they doing a tournament and things like that, they're incorporating storylines into it. Instead of just throwing random people together. Now we're like, oh man, MJF and Adam Cole, they hate each other. Now they're teamed up. We'll see how far they go in this tournament.
It's like what they do in the WWE game. You can get in feuds with people, and you'll have to team up with them to see if you can get along, or one of them has to leave, go backstage, and it's just a handicap match.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, in that video game, they'll just leave you.
Just leave you.
They'll do the Rick Martel, what he did to Tito Santana at WrestleMania 5. Yeah. Just leave him. Leave him against Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. So MJF, he's fighting Hiroshi Tanahashi at this pay-per-view. We'll give you the rundown. But Adam Cole kind of convinced him to take that fight. He kind of tricked him, said, hey, you're probably afraid of Tanahashi. And MJF's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to accept that challenge. So like I said, this pay-per-view is going to be awesome. And then it leads to Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shibata and Orange Cassidy. 3 of these 4 guys have titles. Zack Sabre Jr., he's the television champion in New Japan. Ring of Honor Pure champion is it's Shibata. And then Orange Cassidy is the AEW International champion. So they have a tag match. Bad guys win here, which is Sabre Jr. and Garcia. But afterwards, they announced that all 4 of these guys are going to fight in a 4-way match at the pay-per-view for Orange Cassidy's title.
Ooh.
So his tag team partner tonight is actually going to be going after him for that title.
We don't know. Orange Cassidy might be able to retain the title.
Yeah, he's been winning a lot.
But they might have him lose in this match just so they can end the streak. The
Yeah,
winner
you would
streak.
think so. You would think so. I mean, he's been beating so many people, and then it's like Swerve Strickland. He's just been getting the short end of the stick.
He is like flying up in the air and just comes out with a stunner.
Yeah, I think Swerve needs to get some wins. They got Swerve fighting Tanahashi on Collision,
Yeah, that's gonna be
so
good.
that's going to be a good matchup. We have after that, Don Callis talks to Will Ospreay about
Mm-hmm.
like helping him with security and that because Will Ospreay's fighting Kenny Omega at the pay per view. I mean, it's just getting better and better. Then they talk about Willow Nightingale. She's gonna get the title shot against Toni Storm at the pay per view. So that was the lady that beat Mercedes Monet.
All these matches coming up are gonna be very great.
Yes, and then the main event was Chris Statlander. She's the TBS champion. She came back, beat Jade Cargill after Jade Cargill had defeated Taya Valkyrie at the pay per view. She came back, beat her real quick, broke her streak, and she beat Taya Valkyrie here tonight to retain her title. After that match, Eddie Kingston comes out to announce who his mystery partner is going to be at the pay per view. John Moxley comes out and confronts them because they're best friends. And he's like, I
Yeah.
hate Claudio Castagnoli. That's why I'm coming after your team. And Moxley's not having any of it. And then, of course, Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta and Claudio come in. They start beating up Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston announced who his partner was going to be. And that guy's making his way out. And it's Ishii, a Japanese wrestler, Ishii.
Yeah.
So they beat up Ishii. They're beating up Kingston. Bryan Danielson gets in the ring. And he's like, hey, I'm calling out Okada. He ain't going to come out. So I'm going to smash Ishii's head in. And Okada comes out. And that's going to be the main event of the pay per view is Bryan Danielson versus Okada.
Is Okada like a tall guy?
He's a tall guy. He's the guy that put on great matches with Kenny Omega. They did like 3 matches together. And some of the great matches you'll ever see. And he's fighting Bryan Danielson. So,
yeah, that's gonna be good.
so we'll do the rundown of the pay per view. We already covered Dynamite and Collision. So the pay per view is going to be this Athena. She's going to be taking on Billy Starks. It's part of the women's Owen Hart tournament that's happening. Kenny Omega will defend the United States Championship, the Japanese, the IWGP, the Japanese United States Championship. That wouldn't make much sense, but the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. If you want to watch a match, that's a match to watch there. Will Ospreay's awesome. Yeah. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchi Okada. Sonata, the IWGP World Champion, is defending the title against Jungle Boy. MJF puts his title on the line, the AEW title, versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. 6-man tag, Jericho, Guevara, Suzuki versus Sting, Darby Allin, and the person that's going to be announced Saturday night.
Hopefully Hulk Hogan
or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Then you got the Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley, Yuta, Castagnoli, Takeshita, Umina versus the Elite, which is Paige, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Ishii. CM Punk, he's against Kojima in the first round of the Owen Hart tournament. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, and Daniel Garcia for his international title. And Toni Storm defends her title against Willow Nightingale. If there's a pay-per-view to order, it's this one. And I'm not just pushing it just to push it because I'm ordering. I never really order too many pay-per-views. So it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good card. In case you're wondering about the women's tournament, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, Anna Jay versus Sky Blue, Nyla Rose versus Willow Nightingale, and Athena versus Billy Starks is the bracket for the women's tournament in the Owen Hart matchup. So I'm thinking Britt Baker may be a double champion 2 times in a row. But thank you for joining us. It's great to be back. Go ahead and sign us off, Bryce.
Okay. Bye, fam.